Hi, I'm Daniela Hernandez, and I'm a student in Dr. Hatton's digital identity class. And my topic for my final project for my website was online privacy. Now, I chose online privacy because I've seen so many people affected by the fact that they're not private online at all. And I feel like more people need to be made aware of the repercussions that can occur if you're not private online. Online privacy is a very important topic. It's very important because let's say you don't have any online privacy, right? All of your information is out there. Well, there are people who can go into your accounts and take all of the information from your accounts. Using this information, they can make fake accounts posing as you. Now, we know this is catfishing, but instead of forming relationships with other people under the guise of being you, they can start to post inappropriate things that can affect your student life, your personal life, and your professional life. If one of these inappropriate things would reach your superintendent, your principal, your boss, or your friends and family, those relationships might be broken, and there could be negative repercussions, such as being fired or being expelled. And these would have negative repercussions on your life, such as no income, not being able to get a job, etc., etc. And that's why it's important to get people to know about their online privacy, because there are so many people at risk to have their information stolen because their accounts, their social media accounts, are not set on private and they don't have any privacy settings set. During the course of researching for my online privacy themed website, I learned quite a bit, actually. I learned that there's no way to be truly private online or truly anonymous online unless you're in the deep web or you don't have a smartphone and you don't have any accounts. So truly the only way to be truly private online and truly anonymous is by not being online at all. Except if you've already had an online account. If you've already had an online account, well, that's on the internet. Even if you delete everything, there are archives of it. So people can still find your old posts. I also learned that while there's 81% of US citizens that are online that are afraid that their data is vulnerable to hackers, only 45% of them are doing anything to protect themselves from it. Now, this could stem from the fact that privacy settings are so hard to enact. Not all of them, but there are some privacy settings that are so hard to enact and to set, and they're just confusing. Like, take example, Facebook's privacy settings. There's so many different privacy settings so that you can set so many different levels of privacy. However, if you want complete privacy, you're going to have to go through each individual privacy setting, and it might be hard to find every single one, and they might be confusing as to what they're keeping private. I also learned that there are 18,000 US Americans that have been affected by catfishing and by other people saying that they're someone when they're really not. Now, while this number is low compared to the overall population of the United States, we have to take into account the number of events and catfishing events that aren't recognized and aren't reported. So that number could be significantly higher. Regardless, I feel, which is why I made my theme online privacy, I feel that everyone should try and be as private online as possible so that they can lessen the amount of threats against their identity, against their digital identity and their digital information. In order to do this, they can have all of their privacy settings on for their social media accounts. On their apps, they can turn off all permissions that the apps doesn't need. So like their location services for apps that don't need your location, such as reading apps. And your camera permissions for apps that don't need camera permissions, such as, again, reading apps, but also apps like VPNs. In all, I think everybody should try to be as safe as possible and be as private as possible online.